Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning and welcome to RPtv. Today is Friday, September 17th, 2021. Although it's the middle of September, it is only the beginning of Hispanic Heritage Month. This is the time to recognize the efforts and contributions that Latinos have made in the growth and development of American history and culture. Alana has that report.
Rather than starting at the beginning of September, Hispanic Heritage Month takes place over 30 days, starting on the 15th. A nod to the anniversaries of national independence for a number of Latin American countries: Costa Rica, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua, all recognize September 15th as the date of their independence, while Mexico's independence is celebrated September 16th. And Chile celebrates its independence September 18th. Hispanic Heritage Month traces its history to 1968, when the observance was just a week long. President Lyndon B. Johnson signed a bill designating the week of September 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Week. In the proclamation, he wrote of the great contribution to our national heritage made by our people of Hispanic descent, not only in the fields of culture, business, and science, but also through their valor in battle. It wasn't until 20 years later that Hispanic Heritage Week was lengthened to an entire month under President Ronald Reagan. Representative Esteban Torres of California had submitted a bill to expand it, saying in remarks at the time, "We want the public to know that we share a legacy with the rest of the country, a legacy that includes artists, writers, Olympic champions, and leaders in business, government, cinema, and science." Torres' bill died in committee, but Senator Paul Simon of Illinois submitted a similar bill that Reagan signed into law. The contributions of Hispanics and Latinos to the United States are long and storied. The first known colony in America was not Jamestown, but the Spanish colony of St. Augustine in Florida. Hispanic Heritage Month is a chance for the country to acknowledge not only the rich history of its diverse Hispanic communities, but who they are today, and said Felix Sanchez, chairman of the National Hispanic Foundation for the Arts. Hispanic Heritage Month gives us an opportunity to update the American people as to who Latinos are today, he said, to provide a contemporary context for all of our communities that are very different, that are part of the Latino ecosystem. Part of that contemporary context is the fact that Hispanics and Latinos make up an increasing portion of the overall U.S. population. The 2020 census showed that Hispanics and Latinos make up a fast-growing, multiracial group. In 2020, 62.1 million people identified as Hispanic or Latino, 18% of the U.S. population. Between 2010 and 2020, just over half of the total U.S. population growth, 51.1%, was due to growth among Hispanics or Latinos, per the Census Bureau. This growth is just another reason why Hispanic Heritage Month is important. If you're 18% or so of the population, then you should also have the representation, and we should celebrate and understand these communities.
Tonight's the night, everyone. The Roselle Park Panthers take on the Burley Bears in a football game. You don't want to miss this. The game starts at 6 p.m. and all Panther fans are encouraged to wear black. Let's black out the Panthers and bring home the win. Don't forget, school pictures will be taken on Monday, September 20th. Make sure you have everything you need and don't forget to dress to impress. The Ecology Club is looking for you or help. They are holding a clothing donation drive until the end of September. 2 collection bins have been placed near the basketball on the side of the school building. There will be the first meeting of the art club right after school today in room 102. There are many caring people in our school, and there is one young man who may just have the heart of a giant. Let's go back to Alana for that report.
Melvin Claudio is a high schooler here in Roselle Park. It was announced that he was part of the second set of tri-state area nominees to be voted on. He was nominated by his coaches. They nominated him for his commitment, determination, dedication, and character. He's described to be mature, gentle, and caring. Unfortunately, his mother is very ill, but that doesn't stop him. He balances school, work, and sports while taking good care of his mother. He always does his best and contributes positively to the team. Every finalist will receive $1,000 for their football program and the grand prize of $4,000 additional dollars for the program. The voting period for these nominees is now open until October 3rd at 11:59 p.m., with the final vote tally determining who will be named the group's finalist. The grand prize winner will be selected based on video submissions stating why they have the heart of a giant.
That's our broadcast for today. Have a great weekend and stay tuned for CNN 10.
Hi, I'm Carl Jesus, and Fridays are awesome. From the deepest depths to the soaring heights, today's show takes us from sea to sky, and of course, we're thankful to have you watching. A new partnership has been announced between Australia, the United Kingdom, and the United States. It's called AUKUS, a combination of those three countries' names, and it mostly involves defense technology. AUKUS will help Australia build nuclear-powered submarines. It'll reportedly deploy U.S. military planes to Australia. It'll help Australia develop military technology concerning artificial intelligence and cyber warfare. U.S. President Joe Biden says the three countries have teamed up because they believe it's important to ensure long-term peace and stability in the Indo-Pacific region. But China has criticized the new partnership, A Chinese spokesman says it undermines peace and stability in the region. That's according to the British Broadcasting Corporation. And another Chinese official told the Reuters news agency that countries should, quote, shake off their Cold War mentality and ideological prejudice. Britain's defense secretary says the partnership is not about sending a message to China. But many analysts say it is, that by increasing their military cooperation, Australia, the UK, and the US are trying to limit China's power. The communist country has been rapidly building up its military in recent years. It's been constructing artificial islands in the South China Sea and claiming the waters surrounding these islands are its own. The US says China has been putting economic pressure on Australia, so the three nations involved in AUKUS are hoping their partnership serves as a deterrent or discouragement to China's growing power. A big part of that, Australia's underwater capabilities in the Indian and Pacific Oceans.
Australia, the United States and the United Kingdom have long been close allies. What this new trilateral partnership known as AUKUS will do is elevate Australia's military to be much closer to the capabilities that the US and the UK has. One very significant way in which that will happen is that the US and the UK will provide Australia with incredibly sensitive and closely guarded information, knowledge of how to build nuclear submarines. Australia is expected to build as many as 8 nuclear submarines now, with the help of the US and the UK becoming only the 7th country in the world to possess such power. Now, those weapons of war have the capacity to change the neighborhood of the Indo-Pacific region, to change the security question there, because these submarines are able to stay at sea for longer, to dive deeper, to move faster, increased powers to evade detection, and of course they can carry greater weapons payloads. However, President Biden and Prime Ministers Johnson and Morrison were at pains to say that that weapons payload will not include nuclear weapons. Here's what Scott Morrison had to say about that on Thursday.
Stress again, this is about propulsion. This is not about acquiring nuclear weapons. Australia has no interest in that. No plans for it, no policy for it, no contemplation of it. It's not on our agenda.
Now, this is not a short-term arrangement that Australia has entered into with the US and the UK. It will take at least 18 months for technicians from the US and UK to discuss with Australia how to move forward with this nuclear-propelled submarine plan. And it could be until the 2040s that these nuclear submarines join the Australian Navy in service in the Indo-Pacific region, this region which the United States and Australia in particular are saying grows more dangerous by the day as China continues to assert itself. Angus Watson, CNN, Sydney.
10-second trivia. A duck, a rooster, and a sheep made history as the first travelers on what? Is it a subway, space capsule, biplane, or hot air balloon? In 1783, these animals took and survived the first flight in a hot air balloon. Continuing our Civilians in Space theme from this week, 4 people are currently orbiting the Earth in a SpaceX rocket, and none of them is a professional astronaut. This isn't the first time civilians have gone into orbit. It is the first time they've done that without a seasoned astronaut on board. Does this mean this kind of opportunity will soon be available to you and me? Probably not. One of the travelers, a 38-year-old billionaire, personally paid for this trip, and it likely cost him more than $200 million. Along for the ride are a St. Jude Children's Hospital physician's assistant, an employee of the Lockheed Martin Aerospace Company, and a community college teacher. They blasted off together on Wednesday and were scheduled to come back down to Earth on Saturday, though the weather could affect that. They'll sleep in their launch seats, skip showers, and likely share a very unique bond for years to come. Rachel Crane caught up with the civilian space travelers before their historic flight.
Feel pressure to, make this successful and pave the way for civilian, future civilian astronauts?
I wouldn't say pressure, because pressure would mean like I'm nervous about the outcome here. I think that responsibility is really the word, right? And that this is a big responsibility, and we have to execute really well and get this right so that the door can stay open for all the other missions to follow.
Haley, what did your doctor say to you when you told them that you were going to embark on this journey? Were they like, you're crazy?
Not at all. So I texted my orthopedic surgeon right before my announcement, and I just said I had some really big news to share. And we both work at St. Jude together, and so I went and met up with him, and I said, you know, in a few days you can brag that you put the first artificial joint in space. And he just kept saying how proud he was. He kept hugging me, and he's here to watch the launch tomorrow with his family.
The media has deemed you guys ordinary people doing something extraordinary, but that's why so many people feel connected to this mission. Do you think, though, that description is accurate?
I kind of feel like it does. I mean, you could have put a group of people together from all over the country, and you would still have a set of unique stories behind each person. So I think when you think of the word ordinary, you're not necessarily thinking of bland, boring people, because everyone has an extraordinary story. We are just the lucky few that have the extraordinary opportunity to be together and to share in this incredible journey.
For me, being the oldest and the most seasoned here, you know, I think it's about not giving up in your dreams, having resilience and grit and determination. And so I know I have a lot of friends and colleagues who are in their 50s and 60s, and you know, sometimes you feel like the best parts of your life have passed you by, but that's not the case. There's so much life still worth living in your golden ages, and I like to think that this is an example of that.
Among the skyscrapers of New York City, there are many breathtaking views. This one is more three-dimensional. Summit One Vanderbilt is one of the highest observatories in the city. It's got a lot of glass, and it's not just used in the balconies, the outdoor space, the elevators. This building features an art exhibit that has mirrors on the floor, the ceiling, and 3 sides, and they have so many reflections that people say you can't tell what's real. Others may scrape by simply scraping the sky, but those who Vanderbilt this one gave you the views of a fly with compound eyes that visualize the summit from every angle, the newfangled and dangled metals that bemuse and bespangle. It's a sight for sore eyes except for light and height fears that reflects view and vantage points using glass, smoke, and mirrors. Woo! Now that we are through that, we want to give a shout out to North Fayette Valley High School, our viewers watching from West Union, Iowa. My name is Carl Azus. I host CNN. Hope you have a great weekend.